Hello, friends. It is Monday, August the 1st. I cannot believe that I'm saying August the 1st because the book launch was June the 14th, which was the start of summer, just a couple of weeks into the summer. And it just seemed like we had so much summer ahead of us. And now here I am next week. My daughter is back at school the week after that. Her sister's back at college. And I cannot believe that we're going to be saying goodbye to summer. But we are not going to lose our positivity with all of the upcoming shifts that are upon us. I know a lot of other working moms like me who are going to be juggling carpool and all of those other things. We're going to get through this together. It's all going to be good. But it is Monday, and it is time for the Monday Minute. We are talking about my book, Show Up Positive, and specifically, we are talking about part 2 of the book, which is where the Show Up Positive sparks reside. So I have my copy of the book. I hope you have your copy. If you have your copy, drop your name in the comments so I can give you a personal shout out and a thank you for supporting and getting the book. If you have not gotten your copy of the book yet, it is finally out on Amazon Kindle. Hallelujah. It's taken a while to get that worked out with Amazon, but we got all the little glitches fixed and it is now available to Kindle readers on Amazon, but you can also get your paperback copies from Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or wherever your favorite local bookseller is. They will be able to get this because it is in national distribution. I'm very proud of that. And I continue to get beautiful letters and surprises from readers, like a shout out to Sharon Summerfield, who is in Canada, was my first international purchaser and reader. And she did a lovely post to her newsletter group, of which I am one of those, last weekend, and featured my book and recommended it to her group. And it's people like you that are going to help this book go viral. Hey, Alicia Winfield, thank you for joining me. It's so great to have you here. And thank you for purchasing the book. So please keep sharing news about this book with other people around you. That's how we're going to help more people find it, because that was the whole reason that I wrote the book, was to really spark hope and change in workplaces. Because come on, we spend so much time at work. Let's make it a great place to be. So in that vein, let's dive in. I'm going to flip into my book, and I stopped at the word proactive. So our word for this week is proactive. And let's take a look in the book and see a little bit about what proactive means. And just as a quick reminder, if you've not been joining me, this is exactly how I intended you to use the part 2 of this book. It doesn't have to be every week. It could be once a month. It could be every other week. It's not every day, though. Every day is probably too frequently, unless you just don't like a word. But to find a word that really captures your imagination and start to practice that word. So it's as simple as flipping to the book. Maybe you're just having a really bad day and you're like, I need an influx of positive mindset and thinking to get me through the rest of this day. And you just flip through until you find a word like this word, fresh, and you say, I'm going to pick a fresh attitude from this moment forward, and some ideas then in the book for how to do that. So we're going to work on proactive. So other synonyms for proactive: anticipate, prepare, forward thinking. So this week, we're going to practice being proactive, anticipating, preparing, and being more forward thinking. And of course, the proactive is the opposite of the word reactive. So we're going to be less on the heels of our feet, reacting to things, and more out in front of things. And who doesn't like to feel more control, right, Alicia? Let's feel more control in our lives. So I give you a little explanation about what it means to be proactive. So here it says, proactivity is a state of being as much as it is a doing. A state of being as much as it is a doing. It is the cultivation of a way of thinking that centers on these concepts. You are responsible for your actions. You choose your behaviors. You are not your circumstances. You possess the ability to make things happen. You are not reliant on others or external factors. And let me just say that right there could be the summary of the entire book, Show Up Positive. That is at the foundation of everything that I believe that I put into this book for you, right? You're not or you are responsible for your actions. You can choose your behavior. You're not your circumstances. You have the ability to make things happen, and you are not reliant on others or external factors to change things. So practicing proactivity this week is really going to be a great jumpstart for the whole Show Up Positive shebang. So here's an example of using proactive thinking versus reactive thinking. In reactive thinking, we're saying to ourselves things like, I have to, I must, I'm required, I can't, nothing will change, no one ever listens to me. But when we have a proactive mindset, we are flipping our language to include phrases like this: I get to, I am willing to, I choose to. Let's consider one possibility I see. I'd love to get your input. We're inviting others in. You know, when we invite others to do something, there's a reciprocity in our human nature that kicks in that's actually going to help you out. So when you do a kind act, or when you are reaching out to others and being inclusive of them, many times, not every time, but most of the time, you are going to create a situation of reciprocity where a person is going to offer to do something similar in return to you, and rather immediately. And that's why it really helps with our teamwork. So we're going to work this week on being operating from a more proactive place. And so our proactive mindset, we got to think about what's the outcome that we want. If the outcome that you want is more connectedness with people, then you want to think about, how can I be more proactive at achieving connectedness? So, which means you're going to put yourself out there. You're going to try some things instead of waiting to be invited in. Make sense? If your proactive outcome might be around, maybe instead of being invited in, maybe you want to have your ideas heard. So you're going to be proactive in working to have your ideas presented and shared with others and have them be heard, which means you're going to do things like the question that was the next to the last one that says, I'd like to get your input, or I have a possibility in mind. So you're coming to people tentatively and you're saying, I've been thinking about this and I would love to get your input. And so you start to build a relationship and an influence from your point of view by simply being proactive in sharing your ideas in a way that doesn't put people on the spot to be making a decision or to have to respond to you, but makes it more open and conversational. So there's proactive is a strategic move. It's like, thinking about the chessboard and the plays that you want to make, not to manipulate others, but to create that connection and help create the things that you want. So this week we are practicing proactive behaviors to accomplish what we want to accomplish. That's what we're after. And I can't wait to hear your feedback. If you want to talk about how to be proactive more directly, in the comments, I have dropped in the event on LinkedIn, the Zoom meeting that starts immediately following this. So 1:00 just before, I'm going to finish up this, and then I'll go right over to that Zoom link. You can pop open the Zoom link and you can have time to chat with me and others who join us, and just share ideas and get more information. So we'll talk about this idea of proactive, and you'll have a chance to play with that. And you can ask me any other questions that you have, especially if you've been reading the book and you have questions or comments or feedback. And if you've been reading the book and you love it, please go out to Barnes & Noble and Amazon and leave a review. People who are thinking about this book are going to really pay attention to your words of encouragement to why they want to read it. So I would appreciate it if you would support me even more by providing your review on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. So come join me on Zoom. The meeting ID is, if you don't have the hot link, is 885-7539-4287. That's 885-7539-4287. And the password is positive. So I'm going to get off of here. You'll have a few minutes to listen in the replay and get that. Or again, go to the details with the description of today's episode, and you will find the hot link there or in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a wildly successful first week of August, and I look forward to talking with you again next Monday and every Monday at 12:45 Eastern Time. Have a great week. Bye.